Hi, I'm Andrew Himelick with the Feierabend Association for Music Education, and this is a collection of videos explaining first steps in music, specifically preschool and beyond, which is focused more on elementary school age students. And normally the curriculum is considered for kindergarten, first grade, but many of these activities that I've been talking in these videos, you can also do all the way up to 5th or 6th grade. Obviously you want to adapt it for the appropriateness for their age level, but the goal is that we want all students to be tuneful, beatful, and artful, able to use their singing voices, be able to think tunes, then be able to be beatful, feeling music in groups of 2s and 3s, and then also being artful, being expressive in their music making. The focus of this video is steady beat, it's movement focused, but movement with the beat. So this would be a beatful part of the lesson. And John would hear teachers say a lot, my kindergartners can't keep a beat. And there's some questions that need to be asked regarding that. What tempo were you asking the students to keep the beat? What way were you asking them to keep the beat? Marching or tapping on their legs? Were all the children struggling to keep a common beat, or were they struggling with keeping just their own individual beat? Now, most of the time when children are struggling, it's because they are being asked to perform a tempo that is not appropriate for them, or a motion that's too difficult. If a child is wanting to tap something, you want to ask them to tap it to their own tempo at first. So one of the biggest things that John talks about is following the student's beat. And what we have found, and research shows, that most children will put things in a metronome marking of 120 to 136. That's close to their heartbeat, and it's what's internally in them, and so that's what they would experience. So how we start with these activities is that you would sing the song and you would follow the child's beat. So for example, there's a song in the book that goes, listen, listen, here I come, someone special plays the drum. And you would give the child a tambourine or a hand drum or any kind of drum that they could play, and you would demonstrate, you would model how to use the instrument appropriately. But when it's their turn to play the instrument, you're going to follow the tempo that they play. So if they play really fast, listen, listen, here I come, someone special plays the drum. If they play a little bit slower, listen, listen, here I come, someone special plays the drum. And what's happening is that the child then is associating the music that they're hearing with the movement on their body. And they're starting to make a connection with how the music and that kinesthetic feeling of moving on the beat are connected. And that's what I'm doing right now with my kindergartners, being at the beginning of the school year. And so the students are hearing me sing as they play the instrument. And we'll do that for a number of months, where the students are initiating the beat. Then eventually we'll do also activities where we're finding a common group beat. For example, there was a man lived in the moon, lived in the moon, lived in the moon. There was a man lived in the moon, and his name was Aiken Drum. His head was made of an apple, or whatever. And that's a fun song where it goes through and talks about different body parts made of different kinds of food. And when we sing about that body part, then we tap that body part. And hopefully the children are moving to the tempo that I am singing. After we come to a common group beat, then we work on stationary and then traveling. So songs like circle around the zero, find your love in zero, back, back, zero, side, side, zero, front, front, zero, tap your love in zero, and then they would tap a student on the shoulder. Again, because of COVID, you might have to make some adjustments with games like this where they point instead from a distance rather than actually tapping the person, or maybe have them tap, pretending they're tapping the shoulder by tapping the hands like this. After we're doing all these, not after, but at the same time as we're doing all these different games on the beat, you're also going to be listening to classical music. Just like you listen to classical music for form and expression, you also want to listen for classical music for the beat. And this is a collection of classical music that's on a CD called Keeping the Beat. And all of these songs are in beat metro markings of 120 to 136. And what's interesting about, and kind of cool about this collection, is it goes all the way from the Baroque up to 20th century music. So there's a wide variety of styles or time frames of classical music on that CD. And they're not very long. 2 minutes, 3 minutes at the most. Obviously that would fit for the students' focus ability. And these are teacher-led. So you would be tapping the body part as they're listening to the music and watching you. And with young children, you want to start in just one location and stay there for a long time. 8 beats, 16 beats, and you're assessing and watching and looking to see how the students are doing, keeping that steady beat. Eventually, over time, end of kindergarten, beginning of first grade, you're moving to shorter and shorter places where you would then change 8 beats to 4 beats to the point where you're doing things in groups of 2s or 3s, depending on the music. So for example, if the music is 2, maybe I'm going 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And I might not count out loud, but what I would do, as John recommends, is using the words here, there, here, there. So the students are noticing that we're changing where the beat is. If the music's in 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, here, there, here, there. Now of course being in 3 is a little bit harder feeling than 2. And you would do that on multiple places on the body, and it's good having that symmetry moving in one place, but you could do 2 different, completely different motions, here, there. And of course this would be harder, and you hierarchy as you move through making things more challenging for the students. Eventually you want the children, as they're older, first grade and so forth, second grade, where they lead the class in doing the motions here and there, and they pick 2 places. And another great way for you to assess, does the children or does the group have the ability to listen to the music, feel the beat, and then perform that beat in groups of 2s or 3s on their body. And then eventually this leads into folk dancing, where you walk in for 8 and you walk back for 8, and you have a partner and you right arm swing for 8 or 16, or we're in a circle and we walk for 8, and you're feeling those groupings and everything's on the beat, and that's leading to more community work. If you do Orchschulwerk things, obviously playing things on the beat and rhythm on instruments, body percussion, you're leading all into those activities based on the foundation of having a good understanding of beat, and not just feeling the beat in groups of 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, because no music in the group of 1, but feeling the music in groups of 2s and 3s. Thanks for working so hard for your students.